Welcome back. This is the Old Bull Young Buck podcast. I'm David Mundy,
Hi, Dave.
and with me, as always, is my man from down under. He's not quite 6'4", but he is full of muscle. Griffin Logue, how are you, mate?
Good, mate. And I am 6'4", actually. So you've claimed yourself to be a tall mid and put yourself at 6'3". So, mate, if you're 6'3", I could very well be 6'6".
Well, we've established this before, mate, but you are undersized for a key position wherever you may play. We know that you've swung around of late, but
Swingman.
Before we move forward, let's look back. Shawnee Mack last week. Thoughts?
Yep. Yeah, great. Yeah, he's we actually it was on our bye week, so we had nothing better to do than to talk to the great man Shawnee Mack, and I thought he was great. He's a funny, very well spoken. Obviously got the radio background, but he's good.
The king of morning radio certainly shone last week.
Well and truly the king, and can talk underwater. I reckon. Shawnee didn't have to give him much. He did.
No,
he'd take it.
And he's thieving from Woolies at Stammers.
Yep.
The ladies or the people at the self checkout now have a photo image of Sean.
Have you seen this?
Watch this man checking out.
Yeah, it's great.
And he's still flat.
Shame on him.
But
to his credit, he said he went and paid him. So I'm sure Andy would have told his manager just to hold off the incoming payments, mate. Just got the money coming back, so don't worry about it.
And I'm not sure if you've heard otherwise, but as far as I'm aware, the injury curse has been broken. Shawnee hasn't done a hammy this week.
He said he went for a run as well, and he said he was having a crack on the weekend. So that's it's good.
Should put our future guests' minds at ease coming onto the pod.
Yeah, no, it's good for us. I mentioned we were on the break then, on a bit of a mid-season break. Mid-season now. How'd you go? You get a bit of time off? Or you get up to much?
Yeah, no, I just dialed into Daddy David a bit. I was able to do some
pick
school
up.
drop-offs and spend some time at home, which was good. A couple of consecutive days. What about yourself?
Same, mate. Nothing. Bit of anime. We haven't touched on anime in this, have we?
No, we haven't. No.
Probably for another day, listeners. But we'll move off from that. Don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
No, that's a big rabbit hole. Yeah, we don't want to get
the cartoon rabbit hole.
Down. But do you want to introduce our guest for this week?
I do. Without further ado, Without further ado, is it?
Yeah.
Or is it without further ado?
I do.
Oh, there you go. Nonetheless, bringing on, a man that I was actually drafted alongside. Both had the long curly locks. And he's a bit smaller than me, so that's the only thing I got up on him at the moment. But he's come down from the Gold Coast all the way to make the trip down here. And Will Brodie, thanks for coming, mate.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. The bull and the buck.
That's right. That's right.
Hang
The bull
on.
and the buck. We never used that one.
Yeah, good.
That's good.
How did you spend your time off over the break?
I spent some time down south, actually. Ever since I've been, everyone says, you got to go down south. You got to go down south. So I had to have a look. And it was nice.
It was your first time?
First time, yep.
Any highlights?
Yeah, there was a few. Weather wasn't great. It was very quiet Tuesday to Thursday, but there's some beautiful spots there, isn't there? Like the wineries. We did a winery.
You a wine sniffer, mate? You like your wine?
I'm building, mate, building.
Yeah.
I can dabble in a red, and I've just had my first little touch of white wine, and I think it'll grow on me.
Yeah, nice.
So,
I'm sure a few of the listeners would have seen the carry on from the stories, putting up the decanter and looking out of the beautiful green pastures and stuff. So good to see you did it for your Instagram at least. A lot less for your taste buds, mate, and maturing them. That's good to see you had a good trip. Not sure if there's many wineries where you're from, mate. Goulburn Valley.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure either, to be honest.
So you grew up there from a young age, and Dave, you're also from around there, aren't you?
God's country at the Goulburn Valley.
Is it?
Yeah, from there as well. Seymour.
Sounds
Shepparton, not too far away.
Sounds like the poor man's Gidgee but go on. Tell us about growing up in Goulburn Valley. Dave, you can chime in if you want.
Yeah, well, I'm from Shep, so Shep's Shep, pretty simple place. Went to school there, and then left in about year 10 to go to the Big Smoke school in Melbourne.
Yeah.
But it was a good place to grow up. My parents are still there. Brother was back and forth a bit there. Got grandparents there, so try and get back there when I can, but not too much these days.
So from year 10, were you living in the Big Smoke, or was it still?
Yeah, boarding school.
Oh, boarding, right.
Yeah.
But that still
right
classifies you for Vic Country. That's why.
Yeah.
That's when we actually crossed paths one time in a game, I believe. WA Vic Country. Got the chocolates, I think.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
But,
well done.
So it was, Vic Country, and obviously, so Shep, yeah, right. Goulburn. How'd you grow up close to Shep? Or?
Yeah, so I'm from Seymour in the Goulburn Valley, which is an hour south of Shep. It's kind of in between Melbourne and Shepparton. And as I was coming through,
how far are we talking out of Melbourne, out of CBD?
Hour and a half, hour and 20 from the CBD.
So Mandurah. Yeah, with Mandurah.
And as I was coming through my GV, I played a little bit of footy for Seymour when I was 16 and 17. But
Yep.
Shepparton, in particular Shep Bears, who you're affiliated with, was the team that everyone hated. They won everything for a couple of years in a row.
Is this right or?
Deacon Reserve, the old
before
mud
my
pit.
time.
Yeah, a bit before Wizards time, but those kind of emotions and feelings don't fade with time.
Really?
Yeah.
Still holding on to it, even after an illustrious AFL career. You've just gone, Shep Bears, get out of it.
And you didn't get a chance to don the Shep Bears.
Nah, so when I was all the way up to about under 14s, under 16s, I played for my school, Notre Dame, and then just recently they've changed it and merged it, so Shep Bears goes all the way down to under 12s or whatever. But I was starting to head towards the seniors, sort of thirds age group, and then I shipped off to Melbourne, so I never got the chance to actually play a game for the Bears. But yeah, my brother plays there, and I'm a proud Bears man. So
look out.
So eat that, Barrow.
Yeah.
He's a proud Bears man. Any other sports growing up, Wiz?
Yeah, I dabbled in them all, to be honest. Played a bit of cricket, couldn't get a hit, couldn't make a run, so I got rid of that pretty quick. Played tennis a bit growing up, a lot of basketball. Played basketball till about 16.
Basketball background.
One of those ones. Had to make a choice.
Could have been anything. Heard you could have been anything. As well.
Yeah, that's what they
club,
say. But yeah, played a bit, dabbled in them all. And just found what I loved pretty early, which was good.
Yeah, it's always the way. Us tough boys, mate. When we you can't make a choice between different sports. It's always a hard choice. You never had that luxury, did you? You always just a one hit wonder of sports.
No, it was the same.
Yeah,
Country
okay,
boys,
sure
mate,
you
we're
were,
good at
mate,
everything.
Sure you were.
Anything with the ball.
Yeah,
you'll be right. Hand-eye coordination. That's what you need. So I mentioned getting drafted together. You're a high draft pick, Wiz. Straight out of Melbourne from the Big Smoke into the Gold Coast. How'd you find that kind of transition at 17, 18?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Obviously moving across the country. I was lived at boarding school since year 10, so I was pretty comfortable being away from family and stuff. So it wasn't a massive change for me, but yeah, just moving to a different city and meeting new people was obviously pretty big, as we've all been through. Bit of a different transition, but yeah, it was all pretty smooth.
Yeah, and you went with who went with you at the time was Ainsworth, Scrimshaw, and Bowes.
Yes.
How'd you know all them?
It was that year where we had 4 top 10 picks. So we all sort of went together, which helped. But yeah, we all went through AFL Academy together.
So that's right. Yeah,
we knew a lot. We knew each other pretty well, and then Ben Ainsworth, I played a lot of footy with. Under 12s Vic Country, and then 16s, 18s. 15s,
yeah, right. Where's he from? Close to
Gippsland boy. Yeah.
Where's that, boys? Close to Goulburn Valley or not?
It's called Morwell or Morwell.
Southeast Melbourne.
Right.
So yeah,
right.
That made it easier.
Yeah. How'd you like it up there? It's good.
It's a good place to live. Yeah. All year round. Weather's beautiful. Beaches are great. Yeah. It's a nice place to live. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you attend your draft night?
I did. Yeah.
What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was good. I feel like they're all pretty stressful. I think it was 3 hours out, I was going to a different club, and then half an hour out, I was going to a different club, and then 10 minutes out, the manager says, I think we're going here. So it's a bit of a roller coaster. But
Who were some of the others?
Well, I thought Freo were a chance when they took the Logie Bear. So we
missed out there, didn't we?
Yeah, I know.
So yeah.
Sorry, boys. Sorry, Freo faithful.
So we thought that was a chance, and then it all flipped on its head pretty quick, and then we're thinking I may have got past Gold Coast pick to, I think Adelaide might have been the next one or something. It was just all a bit, you sort of just taking in all this information, and then 10 minutes out,
Even
they
then,
go,
you don't even have a choice, do you?
nah, you just sit there and listen and go, all right, see what happens. But then, yeah, it was probably half an hour out. We were pretty locked in. We knew what was going to happen, so definitely eased the nerves a bit.
Yeah.
So do you recall names called out, go up on stage, get the photo with the jumper, shake the coach's hand? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, briefly. I had, because obviously mates with Ben Ainsworth, he went before me to the Suns, so I remember sort of running backstage, and he was already there at the thing on. We slapped up, and we're like, oh, here we go. And then went up on stage with long curly hair with Rocket Eater, I think it was, held the jersey. And
Rocket Eater back then, was it? That's great.
I think it was him up there. Yeah. So it was a while ago now, but.
So you move across the country in one direction up to the Gold Coast. You spend a couple of years up there, don't get as many games in as you probably would have liked. How did you go through that process of, I guess, coming into the AFL system with high hopes and then adapting to pretty brutal reality?
Yeah, it was obviously really tough. Feeling like you're sort of a good player growing up, as we are. We feel like we're playing some good footy, and then you sort of go into the system and you're sort of hoping to play straight away, or you feel like you're ready straight away, and then just sort of accepting the reality that you've got to improve different areas of your game before you're fully ready. And it was obviously difficult, and watching some of my peers play and that I went drafted with, and not being able to play, and when you sort of you obviously really want to, it's tough. It was a good learning experience for me and helped me grow as a person, I reckon, sort of going through that where I am now. So it was.
Talk us through the NEFL structure up there. Did you get any outrageous numbers in the NEFL?
Oh, it's different than NEFL. Had some good games, but nothing crazy. Like a couple of 40 bombs, but
just a couple.
There's no crazy ones. I remember reading articles. Tom Mitchell was getting 60s and stuff. I was never getting those numbers, so nothing.
Well, I think we were just touching on it off air before how you've played, obviously. One of 5 players this year to play all consecutive games this year, so it must be a bit of a change, obviously, from going. I think we've got down here 25 games at the Goldie, and then straight into now. What have we played? 13. We just played 13 straight, so half of what you did in 5 years. Yeah, half of what you did in 5 years. So it must feel good just to get some continuity at the top level, and not just continuity, very very consistent and very high level continuity. So it's good to see, mate.
Yeah, it's definitely been a big difference. I mean, if you sort of don't realise playing a whole season a bit of a marathon, with I think the most games I played was 4 or 5 in a row, and then now playing this many in a row, it's like a bit of a marathon. You sort of got to go through a different sort of, I don't know, it's a bit of a long emotional roller coaster the whole season, so it's adapting to that's different as well. And also, I reckon at the Suns I won 3 games out of 25, and I think we've already passed that, so that was different as well.
Well, if you talk about longevity, mate, if you want tips on roller coaster, don't come to me. Talk to the man to your right, because I reckon he's taking the piss a bit at the moment with how many games the big fella's playing. So
400 soon, isn't it?
Yeah, Monday 400. I can't wait.
There's a bit to do before then, but so you've gone across the country north, now you've come across the country west. Talk us through how that all played out from your perspective.
Had you been to Perth before at all? Had you been?
No, first time. Oh, I've been to Perth to play footy. Trying to think. I reckon under 12s was in Perth.
Yeah, 18s. I reckon that. 16s or whatever when we played each other. 18s. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah.
I remember seeing on the trade because it popped up on the Instagram. Went, all right, whiz. Will Brodie, no jokes. Was it pretty rare for you, or was it in the works?
Yeah, it was. Obviously, sort of discussions happen throughout the year, and you just want to get through your season, and the discussion there with your manager and the club, and we obviously met with them, Woolsey and the team, and sort of interest grew, and then once we sort of thought that it could happen, we were pretty committed pretty quick. So it wasn't overly difficult or messy. It was all pretty smooth, which was good.
And what was your first impressions of JL? We know he's an avid listener, so this is a good chance to get a few brownie points, but.
Better make sure I say the right thing. He's been really good. Even just the discussions we had before I come across about sort of just wanting to play into my strengths and accept me as the footballer I am, and to not change me in different ways. I think that was awesome, and just growing that relationship with him over the past however many months it's been really good. He's a good one to sort of talk to, you can have a good conversation with and learn off, and he's been really good.
And who was the first current player, once it had all gone through and you were a Fremantle player, who was the first current Fremantle player that you met?
Well, Joel Hamling actually gave me a call straight away on the phone. So he was probably one that I spoke to straight away. I was still sort of going through my phone, and then this random number calls me, I better answer it. And that was him, so he was probably one. And then, first few days, I can hardly remember, to be honest. First few days I met a few people, but...
Probably Big Sean. He would have been first to reach out.
Yeah, I knew Big Swag from, obviously Vic Country days and stuff. So I knew a few people, which helped, but, it was all pretty easy.
So you're moving over the country, as I said. You're meeting heaps of new people, shaking hands, trying to remember names, trying to integrate it into a group, which I think you've done really well. And then you meet this big curly-haired fella. What was your first take on Griff?
Well, I sort of knew Griff a little bit prior, but Griff's Griff, the big Logie Bear, is pretty intimidating feature. The big guy comes up.
He's medium Logie Bear. We don't call him big on this show.
No, keep going, mate.
The little
Keep
bear.
going.
Yeah, the big comes up, big shake hand. There you go, mate. Good.
Always a firm grip as well.
There you go, mate.
Make sure.
And then he turns the hand over.
Yeah, putting him in his place. Top dog.
Just let him know.
Yeah, nah, he's been good. Everyone's been good. It's been easy.
And rumour mill swirling around is that you're a Fremantle supporter growing up.
Yep.
And that you had a picture of Mickey Barlow on your wall. Is that
Is
can you
that fair
confirm
dinkum?
That's true.
Oh.
Hey,
Well,
I couldn't believe when I saw that.
Well,
What, so it was always in the works then coming to Freo. So you're a massive Freo fan, and then
yeah.
Mickey B on the wall. Far out.
It's funny
He'd
how
love
we-
that.
I had his jersey there, and then he signed it under 12s when we were in Perth. So somehow, because he's from Shep or people from Shep, we somehow got in contact and said, can you please sign my jersey? Got him to sign it, framed it, put it on my wall. And then we started playing footy together on the Suns, and I was like, I better take this down.
What was up on your wall when you
got drafted,
Oh,
because obviously
wow.
I moved out of home.
yeah.
So first time I got back to Shep, and I was like, gee, I better take this down. It's a bit weird sleeping with his bloke on my wall.
So
Yeah,
why?
so you went to the Gold Coast and Mick was there at that
Yeah.
stage?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think we come together in the same year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we spent 2 or 3 years together. Off from memory, yeah.
So you're a big purple, passionate Shep man. Move Mickey Barlow on your wall, fellow Shep man. Move up to the Gold Coast, meet him.
Never
What-
meet your idols, kids.
what
That's
was
the
that
one.
like?
Never meet your idols.
Yeah, it was good. Mick was a good fella. I was only a young buck, and he was a bit of more of an
Oh
established.
yeah. I'm the young buck. I'm the
I
young
was
buck.
the
I'm the young buck.
young
Young
fella.
fella.
He was a bit more of an established fella, so yeah, just got to know him and spoke to him a bit, tried to pick his brains a bit, but yeah, he was a good fella.
And what drew you to the purple from the Goulburn Valley?
Yeah, I don't want to say it, but it was Mick.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Is it really all centered around Mickey B?
Yeah,
Wow.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, big body mids. Racket. Couldn't run out of sight in a week. The both years.
No, Mickey could run.
Could he?
And so can Will.
Yeah, that's
Mickey's-
true. Yeah.
He's a good mover.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how old I was. I would have been real young when he started and had that year before he broke his leg. Sort of jumped on the bandwagon then. And I thought I liked being a little bit different, being a Freo supporter in Shep. Everyone's like, why you go for them? Why are you wearing purple?
Who's that up on your wall? Mickey B.
So yeah, it was just something different. Yeah, they were good to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Any other favourite players in the team? You would have been watching a fair bit of Barra as well.
Yeah, don't make me say it.
Yeah.
Barry, yeah, there's a few, mate.
Would have watched a few. Yeah, right. So it's a bit of a punch in the face when you get to the club and obviously meet the old Foss and go, oh, you know what? Probably prefer Mickey B.
That's okay.
No, it's
Mickey's a good one.
That's good, mate. Obviously, the other one is your big dog that made the big move across, mate. Tell us about your hound that you've got.
The big hound, Elon Musk. He's got a few names. He's
His actual real name is Neo? Or Stig?
Neo.
Neo, yeah.
Neo, yeah. He's
Matrix based or?
no, I actually didn't watch the Matrix, and then I started telling people his name. They're like, "Oh, for the Matrix,
Mr.
Like,
Anderson.
oh, not sure.
Great series. It's right up your alley as well, Barra.
But yeah, he's a bit of a lunatic. He keeps me hands full, that's for sure.
Yeah, what is he? He's a pity cross staffy or something, isn't he?
They call him American Bully, so he's sort of like a Staffy but bigger. He's supposed to be this pure breed American Bully who's
They never are.
Who's thing in there.
who's like they're supposed to be like real timid and like relaxed personality, but I think he's got a little side of pit bull in him. I think the breeder stitched me up.
Someone found out the hard way and he's hanging off their ankles saying, "Get out of my house."
Yeah, so he's keeps me busy, that's for sure. He's not one that I'd confidently take to the cafe and just have a latte and let him sit there. He's a little bit more full on than that.
Yeah, right.
Takes a bit of work. All right, we'll jump into my section, quick hands.
Oh, he loves this section.
This is the best section of the pod, is the common feedback. But I'll throw some quick questions at you. Give us your first immediate answer, first thing that comes to your head, and Griff might circle back and we'll
if you're lucky.
Yeah, we'll see how we go. Last time you called your mum,
2 days ago.
last meal on earth, what would it be?
Ooh. Golden syrup dumplings.
Yeah, nice. Where does the tomato sauce go? The fridge or the pantry?
Pantry.
Your pre-game routine, anything?
Pasta garlic bread.
Coffee of choice, this is a big one.
Skinny latte extra hot.
Ordering a steak, how's it cooked?
Medium rare.
How much do you bench?
105 for 3.
Whoa. First car?
Holden Cruise, 2013.
Still got it.
Still got it.
Lad loves it.
Still kicking.
We'll get to that. Eggs poached or scrambled?
Scrambled at the moment.
In the car, music or podcasts?
Music.
Most used emoji?
The laughing faces one.
Love
Has
that
to
one.
be.
I used the laughing face when I had golden syrup dumplings.
I knew
I've
I'd
never
get
heard of that.
this.
That is
Yeah.
you
It
spoke
goes-
about being rare from Shep. You got Mickey Bell on the wall now. You got golden syrup dumplings.
Have
What
you
is
heard
what?
of them?
Nah.
I don't know either. My grandma used to make them all the time. And they're just like a dough of sort of like a cake dough, and they dump them in like golden syrup. It's like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like some weird thing that she created, and she loves them. So we sort of like a family thing.
Have you heard of them?
Golden syrup dumpling.
No, I physically have never heard of golden syrup dumplings.
Neither.
That baffles me. But yeah, and this skinny latte extra hot's probably a bit of a stretch as well.
It's winter at the moment, so it's extra hot. Has to be.
Extra hot and really, burn the milk, ruins the taste. But it's all right. So we spoke on Mickey B before and touched on him. He's your idol, and he had a bit of intel for us. First thing that came to mind was loves his cherry hat, and it's definitely just hanging to his chair, and let alone it's hanging on your head right now. So
No way you said that.
He's dead. I've literally
You made that up.
I have it written right here. Read it. Loves his cherry hat. What's going on with this? I've never really taken note of it. You've obviously
it's
wear it a
Gold
fair
Coast
bit.
thing. It's my favourite hat, and I actually bought 4 of them a long time ago,
Right.
and this is my last one.
Oh, no.
So, it's hanging by a
You're
thread.
probably going to... Where do you get them from?
They were cotton on $20 hats, and I just went bang, bang.
How long's a hat you wear? You wearing pretty regular? What's a hat last year?
The
Couple of
last thing-
seasons?
Well, yeah, just like
One summer.
Tailgate one, and then lose one on a night out, and then they just go missing these things.
You
Hot property, yeah.
Far out.
So have you tried to source any more online or anything?
Oh, Depop is where I've been looking, but I think they're extinct now. It was funny. My old man bought one from Cotton On, and he started wearing it around just to take the piss out of me.
That's
So
interesting.
I took his that was at the house, and then it's still this is my last one, so a bit nervous.
Jeez,
If
mate.
anyone finds one online, send the link in.
Send
Yeah, we'll
send
get
it
to
in.
Will.
So we'll
Pay a
get onto
premium.
it. Another one. Can you confirm or not you play Call of Duty solo?
I do sometimes have a hit of solos by myself. Yeah,
Yeah, well, at least it's good mail here.
I don't know. Where
Very-
you get
very-
this. That's
very-
not
very
that's not
accurate.
Mick Barlow, that mate. Surely.
No,
Call of Duty.
you can't throw it out. Can't throw it out. Mention the golden syrup dumplings, mate. Are you a big eater in general?
Yeah, I'd say yes. I can eat big meals, but wouldn't say I'm a
How
big.
big? How big we talking?
Oh,
Talking like night before a game, you're cooking home pasta. You're having 2 bowls of pasta, or is it pushing 3?
no, it's not 2. It's probably 1 big bowl and then half of that. You know those Coles garlic breads.
Oh, I know the ones.
Probably half to 3/4 of that.
Oh,
Hang
I
on.
can just absolutely inhale garlic bread if it's done well. Crispy, crunchy on the outside, soft and buttery on the middle. Oh, gee
wrong.
whiz. We spoke about Freo fans and that a long time. It's got here that you've a Freo fan offered you their personalised car number plates. Is that true?
That is true.
Take us through that.
Well, I actually yet to know the full story, but Fifey put a note in my locker and said, "This is for you." So I'm like, oh no, what's this? Open it up, and it's just a quick written note like, "Hey Will, would you like my number plate? I'll give it to you for free. It's FD017." So I'm still processing the decision. I'm not sure it would look that great in the Holden Cruise, but maybe when I upgrade.
I actually don't mind that. Speaking of the cruise, can you confirm or not you don't like taking it to games and you have to take the Misso's car just because you don't like being seen in it? Or
That was supposed to say in-house, but I drive Andy Brayshaw usually to the games, and he just, I'll put it on him. He just thinks he can't be seen in that thing. So he says I have to take my missus
Mate,
car.
I've got nothing but respect for models 2013 and under. It's it's history, mate. Your car's got character. That's the difference, I reckon.
It is, and it's an A to B thing. It's not bloody. We're not trying to impress anyone here. We're just A to B, get there, refuel, A to B.
See, simple.
So tell us, talk to us, give us a word picture about the Holden Cruise. Like, describe it.
Oh, I call it the Beast,
Yeah.
the Black Beast. But it's just reliable, consistent, a bit like Barra on the field. Just gets it done. Never disappoints. Maybe an engine light here and there, but just a few little tweaks and it's back out in the road.
And so you would say Andy Brayshaw's too good to sit in your Holden Cruise.
Yeah,
is that the problem?
That's what I'll go with. Yeah, because he rocks in the big Hilux. It's all
Fat arms are not a scratch on it. Like, if you're going to get a four-wheel drive,
Just never touch
take
it.
it off road, son. If you're going to do that, take it off road.
It's got everything, all the bells
see.
and whistles, and it's a bit of a downgrade. So
Yeah.
So you acquire these customised Fremantle number plates, FD017. Will they go on the Cruise or the Misso's car?
well, Misso won't have them, no way. So it'll have to go on the Cruise, but maybe I'll just put them in the cupboard for a while and then bring them out.
We've got a fair bit of car chat here again because in the Gold Coast, you would consistently drive 5 to 10 kilometres under the speed limit. What's going on there? Were you on a good behaviour kind of thing with your driving?
I
or?
was actually called the Golden Point. I had it for
You're on the Golden
I was
Point?
on the Golden Point.
We've got golden syrup dumplings, the Gold Coast Suns, and you're on the Golden Point.
Oh, it's funny. It's just I once did one red light, mate. I'm the world's best driver. I did one red light,
And the Black Beast just that was controlled, didn't it, the Cruise?
and I never got an email or a text saying that I've got a red light on my name. So time goes by, and this 2 demerit point turns into 4, turns into 6, turns into 1 point something grand.
Oh, mate,
fine.
you're coming up with a Matt Taberner excuse
Yeah.
now. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's been sent back to your home in Shep, has it? The fine, or you just never got the fine?
And then they try and take my license, and I'm ringing them going, "Can I just give me a little bit of leniency? I didn't know that I had a fine." And they said, "I'll give you the Golden Point." So 12 months, 1 demerit point, 1 mistake, and it's gone for a year, or you take 3 months of no license, and then you get it back and you start your points again. So I was like, just took the gamble, just backed myself in, backed the beast in, and we got it done. 12 months, still driving.
But you consciously had to drive under the speed limit for that long. A full year, it's a fair effort.
Oh, the anxiety, mate! I tell you, it's just scary. Every orange, it's like,
His Golden Point, actually, it's generally one ticket. Like, it can be anything. So, you get like a speeding fine. If it's under 9 kilometres, it's no demerit. But if it was yours, it's like over 9.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. It's just
Any form of... That is so stiff.
Boys would have been understanding though. You taking guys to
Nah,
games or out or whatever.
They weren't understanding at all. I'd have people driving up my ass, beeping at me, and going around me, but yeah, no, it was funny.
You nailed it, mate. Well done to you anyway. Well done, you nailed it.
And so this week we have the Blues game. We're coming up against the Blues again. We're heading to Melbourne later in the week. Will's obviously been an absolute revelation, so we'll keep him going and trucking along and dominating games for us. That'd be great. What do you reckon?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, good. Looking forward to heading back to Melbourne.
That's not what you were saying before. You said you wanted more midfield time when Wiz wasn't here, but...
No. We're doing it. It's all going very well at the moment. We all want our time and we all want our
Right.
peace. But
Yeah, no, it'll be good. We're looking forward to getting back to Melbourne. We're playing a bit in Melbourne this year, aren't we? A bit back and forth, which is good for the Melbourne boys to get there, see family, and playing in front of friends and family and stuff. So, yeah, it's been good.
It is good. Between now and the end of the season, we've got 1 in Canberra for the last of the round, and then it's just WA and Marvel Stadium.
all Marvel, yep.
What a result.
Great,
Big
isn't it?
rap.
So it's not all about Carlton and not all about you, unfortunately, Wiz. We touched on longevity earlier, and this week would mark 366 games for Barra, putting him top 10 all time, I believe, on the all-time list. Or equal top 10. Oh, he already knows. No worries. Of course he does. Tickets on himself, this bloke. But, mate, how do you feel about that? It's obviously a bit of history. So, yeah. And actually, you're the only active player right now to be in the top 10. So,
Yep.
you're the last remaining fossil.
Yeah, and still trucking along okay.
When
I
you
hope,
hit-
so
Monday 300 a couple of years ago, did you think, deep down, did you go, I reckon I could keep going to like further and further?
milestones and things have never been a focus.
Right.
They've always just come around, but certainly still enjoying my football. And Patrick Keane, who now works under Gil McLaughlin, sends me these milestones when they pop up, and he's been pretty active for me the last couple of years with quite a few, with the Fremantle Games record and the rest of it, or quite a few hit in a few weeks last year. So enjoying my time. It's good to have Will on board with us now. So we've got a really good dynamic, I feel like, our whole midfield group. So it'd be nice to keep that going.
Equal top 10 is, it's pretty special though. I mean, that's, I remember looking at a stat, 1 in 3 AFL players will play 50 games. So that's in the top, 70% percentile, but that must be top 10 would be in the 0.001%
minuscule
percentile, mate. So
yep.
It's well done. I don't want to pump you up too much, but very well done, mate. It's a massive achievement. How are you feeling anyway? How's the body?
Yeah, good.
Halfway through the year?
No, really good. As I said, we've got, as a midfield group, but as a team, we've got a really nice flow going on at the moment. So I hope Will will back me up on this, but it's a nice thing to be a part of.
Yeah, it is, sure. I agree. We've sort of got a bit of a system chemistry sort of midfield mix going. We all sort of look after each other. It's going smoothly, and the Fossil, he looks after us too. He runs the show a bit in there. He's the wise head who sees it all and instructs it all. So we just sort of feed off him. It's been really, really good, really smooth.
It's easy, mate. It's probably easy for him. He's already seen it 365 times before. It's probably, gee whiz. Imagine if we played that many, mate. We'd be guns. Couldn't get the continuity.
Actually, I forgot to bring this up earlier. Apologies. But how do you find playing at Optus Stadium, given that you spent your early AFL career on the Gold Coast with the fans and crowd attendances up there, and then coming to Fremantle? How's that been?
It's pretty surreal, to be honest. It's sort of hard to explain. It's sort of it took me a little while to sort of fully sort of take it all in and sort of process it all, because at the first few games, you're sort of trying to talk to blokes this close and you're yelling at them and you can't hear them, and then it slowly starts to calm down. You sort of don't recognise it as much, but it's pretty impressive. My God, like even I reckon it was the North Melbourne game when we were humming, and there was all of a sudden there was a streaker who got on, and then 10 minutes later, sitting on the bench, and the Mexican wave was going around the stadium, and I was just sort of sitting on the bench going, "Wow, this is incredible."
Probably wouldn't get it at the 5,000 person crowd at the Gold Coast too much, would you?
Days at the Coast,
yeah. I never seen anything like it really. So it was pretty special.
I remember it was after one of those games earlier in the season, and we were in the showers, probably singing one of your songs, and
one of the many
next to Will, and he goes, "Geez, they're loud, aren't they?" Like talking about the crowd and how noisy it is and how hard it is to communicate, but how great the energy and how much pop you get from it. And I think we had like 29,000 at one of our early games this year. And I remember actually saying, if we get on a run and we have an okay season, you wait, it'll get crazier and crazier than it was that night. So
actually, I even possibly remember that conversation.
The
kick you get out from it it's bizarre. It makes you feel get jacked up when you sometimes run off the pitch. You've done a good effort. They just give you a clap. You just go. Oh,
and it's not just Optus Stadium. Like when we played Melbourne at the MCG, there was a big Fremantle contingent there, and I was actually surprised how many. I'm not sure how many there were overall, but after the game, the Melbourne fans had obviously filed out and a bit disappointed, but the Fremantle faithful were still there, and we got around to different parts of the ground. And
the fact that we had to go to different parts of the ground is probably the biggest kind of show of it, how many people are actually there. So,
geez, they get up and about too, the Purple Army. They
love it.
I feel like they're a bit hostile in a way. They're up and about.
They're on the way to being hostile, aren't they? They go a bit nuts. If you get the streakers against North Melbourne, mate, you just wait. You'll be breaking out the flares soon. I reckon. That's one thing. Look around the codes and just seeing how much they carry on. We're a bit behind Freo Army, so bring the flares. Bring the flares.
That's no. Yeah. All right, so this week we head to Marvel playing Carlton. We want our Victorian-based Purple Army to get behind us, get behind Will in particular. He's absolutely dominating. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming on our pod as well, mate. How'd you find it?
Great. Yeah, it was awesome. Thanks for having me. I was a little bit nervous, but he's looked after.
You were a bit nervous, mate, but you settled in great, and just like you have it at the club here. So, thanks again for coming on, mate. No, it's a bit of time out your day. I'm sure now he'll be missing you, but he's probably chewed up your couch by the time you got home now. But thanks again, and like and subscribe, guys.
Thanks for listening, and thank you for wearing your cherry hat.
Yes, how good's a cherry hat? Cheers.